We have another Randy Feltface special. And you may be asking yourself, where's the other two? I don't know. It's just me, Oos. Let's laugh and have a good old time doing it. Randy. The felt of the face. Waiting for the bus with
Have you ever repeatedly punched yourself in the genitals on public transportation?
Can't say that I've been on public transportation.
I have.
Okay.
It was late December and I was feeling Christmas horny. You know Christmas horny? Oh,
No.
If you don't celebrate Christmas, Christmas horny is the kind of intense sexual arousal you can only reach by spending quality time with your family. Just that, oh my God, I would fuck anyone to get out of this house right now. I would get railed by anyone in any position.
Let's not go that
just to
far.
sidestep this intergenerational trauma for 5 fucking minutes.
That's Christmas horny.
Yeah, it's Christmas already.
It had been a strange Christmas because earlier in the year we lost my uncle.
Aw.
We found him again, but he was dead.
Jesus.
It was a Tuesday, which is the comedian's Monday. Not to be confused with Wednesday, which is the alcoholic's Friday. And of course, not mentioning Sunday, because that's the Lord's Day. Not to be confused with the day of our Lord, which is, of course, when Jesus Christ will return to earth to redeem his faithful believers while banishing all unbelievers to the torture and despair of eternal damnation, because Jesus can be a bit of a cunt like that.
Certainly glad Dan is not here. That one would have landed rough.
I've been to the grocery store to purchase some groceries, and I was musing on the origin of the word grocer and how it was originally used to describe a place which sold items in bulk or gross amounts, and how that evolved and changed over the years to now where it's the place itself that's fucking gross. I think it's the distance between cause and effect I find most depressing at the supermarket. Every oak tree turned toilet paper. Every shark turned fish finger. Every art degree graduate turned shelf stacker. 10,000 years of agricultural innovation reduced to a rickety trolley full of food-shaped science experiments and a clean-up in aisle 4.
Always piss in aisle 4. It's a security camera blind spot.
And that distance between cause and effect is still there when you get home from the supermarket. The deportation-fearing farm worker inhaling pesticides for $3 an hour just so you can leave a tomato congealing in your crisper for long enough for it to figure out how to clamber out and call the cops.
Shit.
My crisper's fucked up, man. It's primordial in my crisper. I recently sold the rights to my crisper to the BBC. David Attenborough is filming in my fridge as we speak.
Okay.
And if I were a lesser man, I would probably do a David Attenborough impersonation at this point of the show, but it's a slippery fucking slope. Before you know it, I'll be sitting on a couch across from Graham Norton, awkwardly sweating my way through my best Matthew McConaughey or Owen Wilson impersonation. Longing for the days when all you needed to make it in comedy was a loud shirt and a versatile pair of eyebrows. I have neither! And I don't trust the variety in the supermarket. Too many fucking things. All of those specialty stores bulldozed for the soulless convenience of a one-stop shop. I recall as a child, every product had its very own shop. There was the fucking Fruit Loop shop. The fucking frozen pea shop. That was, of course, before the frozen pea man was arrested for selling his own chilled urine to the public. Frozen pea? Actual pea that's been frozen? Okay, listen, Melbourne. No. Look, you're not going to get a frozen urine joke of that calibre anywhere within the greater Melbourne region on a Friday night. That joke's worth the price of admission, and what I'm sensing tonight, Melbourne, is you don't fucking deserve that joke!
My point is...
I find it inherently unnatural stocking items at extreme opposite ends of the goods spectrum side by side in the one place. Did we learn nothing from the wet market? It's disgusting. But I needed a 9-volt battery, a tin of shortbread biscuits, a bag of mandarins, and a coat hanger, so what am I going to do? I'm not making multiple stops. Do I look like a postman? Don't answer that, I do look a little bit like a postman. In case you're wondering, I used neither trolley nor basket because I prefer carrying too many things. If there are things to be carried, I'll fucking carry them. But there must be too many of them, and I wish to carry them all at once. I want to cut off my circulation. I would like to dislocate several of my fingers. There better be a fucking staircase involved. And when I reach my destination, I want to drag those items across the threshold like I'm a field medic in a World War II film. Stay with me, goddammit! I ain't losing you now, goddamn you! We gotta get you home to Bessie Lou! Oh no, goddamn, it's over swim off! Over swim off!
Get home to Becky Lou.
So I'm at the self-checkout. I always use the self-checkout when I'm at the supermarket. You know how at the supermarket now you can boop your own shit? You know how they let you do your own fucking boop? Sorry, I was just having a flashback to a joke I wrote in 2009. That was weird. Did you see that? What was that? So I'm at the self-checkout, and I pretend to scan my goods, and I pretend to pay for them, and I go out on the street.
Amen.
And I make my way to the bus stop. Now, I don't oft catch bus, but at the time this story occurs, I was driving a 2000 model 93S convertible Saab. Yeah, pretty sweet ride. Would have sent you back about $40,000 in the year 2000. My dad bought one for $2,000 in 2016, spent $400 fixing it up, and now I, at the age of 43, borrow it when I'm in Melbourne between international tours. International tours which are going so well that when I'm in Melbourne between international tours, I borrow my dad's 2000 model 93S convertible Saab. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, thank you. Yes, yes. Yes, thanks. The Saab is clearly not the only thing depreciating in value. It's so much fun to drive around in the Saab with the top down when you have a passenger. As soon as the passenger gets out, you turn into an instant fucking douchebag. Because it's no longer an opportunistic parental car loan situation with a nifty soft top bonus feature. It's a 43-year-old making a conscious choice to drive around in a 2000 model 93S convertible Saab, just barebacking the open air for all to see, taking a detour past the nearest grassy knoll in the hopes someone will blow my fucking head off. On this particular day, I have locked my keys in the car. It is not the first time I have done this. I've already poked a small hole in the soft top for easy coat hanger access. Hence the coat hanger purchase! So I get to the bus stop, and I sit down on the bench, and I inadvertently knock an empty can of Coke off the end of the bench, and it lands on the ground, and a couple of European wasps crawl out of it looking for something to kill. I'm not a big fan of the European wasp. First introduced to Australia in 1959, they aggressively took over the landscape, taking more than their fair share and steamrolling anyone who got in their way. Sound familiar? Yes, they're exactly like Spotify.
Never use Spotify.
There's something very humbling about a bee
I call it spoofy. Some of my Game Grumps fans out there.
sting killing the bee, the barb of her stinger lodging in her enemy and then disemboweling her as she pulls away. Humble, yet graphically violent. If taken literally, it puts a whole new spin on the Muhammad Ali philosophy, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, doesn't it? By that logic, he'd throw one punch and then shit his intestines out all over the ring. Wasps, on the other hand, just keep stinging. Thrusting away like some sort of...
Where's Keith and Kevin? You need them like, yeah. Oh.
When I was writing this bit, I never thought it would devolve into me just thrusting and one person going, Don't get me wrong, I'm glad it got there, but you know, originally when I wrote it, I couldn't actually think of an appropriate thruster to be thrusting in this imaginary thrust scenario that I'd created.
All right.
So I literally Googled the word thrusting, and the first thing that actually comes up is the definition, which is the motion of pushing or lunging suddenly or violently. But the second thing that came up was an article from askmen.com from the 22nd of November, 2022, entitled Thrusting Techniques. Can using different thrusting techniques turn you into a better lover? I'll save you the read. The answer is not really.
Number 7 will surprise you.
And I quote from the article, "No amount of memorizing and applying different thrusting techniques can equal the importance of talking to your partner about what they want in bed." Yeah, oh yes, it's quite an elaborate description of the word consent, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no amount of memorizing. Memorizing! Look, this is a safe space. Melbourne, just by round of applause, who here is currently memorizing thrusting techniques? Anybody? Anybody at all? Oh, fuck that. People don't usually clap. I have so many questions. Are you practicing in front of a mirror? Or is there like a Duolingo-style app that you have to use? 15 minutes a day, and now I'm fluent in conversational thrusting.
It's like a conversational wizard.
Or do you have to learn it like dance choreography? 5, 6, 7, and thrust, and thrust, and woo, woo. I wouldn't be any good at it, man. I was never good at memorizing information for exams when I was at school. I used to cheat and write the answers on the back of my hand. So in this scenario, I'd be there in bed looking at the back of my hand.
Okay, push or lunge. Suddenly or violently.
Ugh, hang on.
Seem right.
It's like the Miz.
Okay.
I thought he was going to pull a Brian Regan like, okay, all right, now we're cooking on all cylinders here with the Pop-Tarts.
This is the rest of the show, by the way. So I'm at the bus stop. And I am alone at the bus stop, but I know people will come. And I know in my heart that they will be odd people. Because every bus stop in the world is the opening scene in an independent short film. It's just the way the universe works. Every time I am at a bus stop, there are weird characters there with me, and I can see the camera angles. I can see the script. I can see the disappointed parents who thought filmmaking was just a phase. Until one day their child asks if they can borrow the 2000 model 93S convertible Saab. So, I'm sitting at the bus stop, waiting for principal photography to commence on this independent short film. And over to my right, I hear somebody scream, "Walking man!" I look over, and standing in the middle of the intersection is a white man, looks to be in his early 30s, top half, crisp white button-up shirt, blue tie, bottom half, jogging shorts, Crocs, with the Japanese tiger tattooed on each calf muscle. And I was like, ha 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 ha, roll camera! There was a car trying to turn left into the intersection, and he's walking alongside the car, pointing up at the traffic lights, going, "Walking man! Walking man! Walking man! Walking man!"
Okay.
The driver of the car is an elderly Asian woman, and at first I think, oh, maybe his aggression is racially motivated. But it can't be that, because his calf muscles are so racially diverse.
Okay.
He bangs on the bonnet. She manages to drive around him and take off down the street, and he chases after the car, screaming expletives, and then comes and sits next to me on the bench.
Yeah.
He smells of microbreweries and cryptocurrency. He takes out an enormous vape pen and starts vaping. If you used to smoke cigarettes and now you vape, you're a real piece of shit. Sorry, I was just having a flashback to a joke I wrote in 2018. That keeps happening. Isn't that weird how that keeps happening? As Screaming Man exhales a huge plume of raspberry and sauerkraut-flavoured vapour, I reach into my pocket and I take out the 9-volt battery I got at the supermarket. I make a bit of a display of opening the package, take out the battery, hold it up to the light, give it a little sniff, and then start furiously licking the end of it. I wait till I can feel Screaming Man looking at me, and then I turn to him and I say, "Oh, I used to vape, but this is much healthier." Screaming Man looks confused.
Mission accomplished.
Don't worry, we'll get it next
I've been doing
time.
this little battery trick for a while now. And look, initially, it probably started out as like a passive-aggressive political statement about the dangers of vaping. But now I'm addicted to licking 9-volt batteries.
That's how it starts.
Can't stop, won't stop.
After a few more licks,
All this is thrusting
I popped
and
the battery in
deterring
my
batteries.
pocket.
Sorry, I talked over you.
I pop the battery in my pocket. And I reach for the bag of mandarins. They're in one of those orange netting bags that they come in from the supermarket, and as I rip it open, I think of the ocean. Dead fish. Cause and effect. James Cameron. Mandarins are the perfect palate cleanser for a 9-volt battery, by the way. Their acidities just cancel each other out somehow. So anytime I'm licking bats, always got a couple of Mandos on standby, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I take out 2 mandarins and I offer one to Screaming Man. Mandarin? Oh, yes, please, he says, and he takes one. And at that moment, a young woman arrives and sits down on the bench between Screaming Man and me. And someone, somewhere, wins an Academy Award for Best Casting in an Independent Short Film.
What did she do?
Perfect. 31, could play 28, lemon cardigan, cute bob, bangs, pink Converse, houseplant tattoo, hoop skirt, starburst earrings, emotional support guinea pig.
Okay.
She's the kind of woman who has a guinea pig on a leash at the bus stop. Fuck yes! She got that Twitch streaming, cosplaying, cupcake bacon, pronoun flipping, D&D on ketamine, geek chic bubble tea thing going on. I mentally run through my schedule for the next couple of months, decide I have nothing important happening, and instantly fall in love with this woman. Damn you, Christmas horny! Mandarin? Oh. Yes, please, she says, and she takes one. And there we sit. 3 characters in an independent short film. silently enjoying our mandarins with a fucking guinea pig. Shot through the heart, and you're to blame, darling. You give love a bad name. The fact that Screaming Man's ringtone is Bon Jovi.
Okay. I was wondering where that came from.
Totally tracks with his character. The fact that he stands up and walks away to a respectful distance to answer the call does not track with his character at all.
Yeah, that sounds
Because
like
if this
speakerphone
was
right
an
next to you.
independent short film, he would answer the phone on the bench next to us, and his one-sided telephone conversation would do a lot of heavy lifting when it came to revealing later moments of the plot. He'd be all like, "No, I am not coming into work today, for I have a funeral to attend. And even if I get somehow swept up in the story of two unlikely strangers and a guinea pig, you better damn well believe I will be attending that funeral right on sunset." But he doesn't. He gets up and fucks off. And I'm starting to feel very disappointed until I notice the young woman is looking at me.
Ooh, sookie now. I'm bringing it back.
I'm Phoebe.
I'm Paul
Of course
Rudd.
you are.
Sorry, damn it. I need to shut the fuck up.
Of course you are. Just as the word sizzle is onomatopoeic for the sound a sausage makes while frying in a fry pan, Phoebe is onomatopoeic for the sound a rabbit makes when it sees a butterfly. Phoebe is the sound of a baby duck sneezing. Phoebe is the sound of a tadpole with the hiccups. Phoebe is the sound of a fox's tail brushing past a Nintendo Switch. Phoebe is the sound of the wind whistling through a crocheted bikini top, drying on a Balinesian sunbed. Phoebe is the sound of an acai berry smoothie through a paper straw. Phoebe is the sound of the doorbell ringing at the house where you've nervously arranged the first threesome in your 6-year monogamous relationship. Phoebe, 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 Phoebe.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Don't cross the swords.
Hello, Phoebe. My name's Randy. Hello, Randy. This, she says, holding up the guinea pig, is Simone de Beauvoir. And I don't know whether to come or kill myself.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the autobiography of David Carradine. Sorry.
At
I'm
that
so sorry.
moment, the bus arrives. Screaming Man ends his telephone call and gets on first, followed by Phoebe and Simone de Beauvoir. And then I board the bus and I hand the tin of shortbread biscuits to the bus driver and I take my seat. My parents were both school bus drivers, you see, and at the end of every school year, the children would often gift them tins of shortbread biscuits.
Oh,
so
that's
now,
nice.
anytime I catch a bus, I hand a tin of shortbread biscuits to the bus driver and I say, "Thank you for your service,"
Well, that's nice.
to distract from the fact that I have not purchased a ticket.
That too. That too.
Now, it's quite a full bus, but everybody has a seat. I'm sitting across the aisle from Screaming Man, and I'm 4 rows back from Phoebe. And I'm staring at the back of her head, wondering if our children will have ADHD. And I
Those would be
start to
bits.
think about how to turn this entire experience into a comedy routine. See, as a comedian, I got to be looking for the funny in every situation all the time. I have to constantly mine my real life for comedic material. No matter how dark shit gets. Gotta be fresh, gotta be original. I can't come up here and do 58 minutes of fart jokes.
As much as I would love to.
And we'll end it there. That's part 1 of Feltopia. We'll have part 2 next time. See you then, guys.